Hi children, good morning. Welcome to class. Today we are going to discuss about revision on lessons like the food we eat and animals and their food. So children, I am going to discuss today these two lessons revision which we are going to have next 3 days. That is an online test on these two lessons also. Before I start this lessons test, I would like to give a small instructions about test. We are going to have 25 marks. Usually we had 15 or 20 marks, but now we are going to have 25 marks objective types only. Sometimes you may get filling the blanks also. So I would like to, everybody should be read the textbook as well as do the workbook in the worksheets also. So these two things you have to do, then only you can get good result you can expect also. So children, we are going to have test on 25 marks. Half an hour only have to take the time and don't malpractice. Am I clear? So let's see about these two lessons. First I say the food we eat. Food is very essential all the living beings. I said the first lesson many days also have taken, but once again I say food is essential. Without food, there is no living being. So, all the living beings exist with the food only. If there is no food, there is no living being. Even the characteristics of the living beings also, food is one of the most characteristics. So, we breathe, we eat. So, food, this both also. Of course, drink water, this all the things, excess of. Later we can see, but breathing and take food is a very essential of the living beings. So first of all, I would like to see first sources of the food. From where we get the food? We know that from most or the majority of the food we get from the plants as well as animals also, isn't it? So we get food from the animals and plants. So the majority, the carbohydrates, everything we get from the plants only. That already we know what are the nutrients. The right amount consists of the food is called nutrients are like carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals and fats. Of course, rough phase also. So we know they each nutrient function also. We know the different nutrient they act their different functions. So once again I say that carbohydrates gives us energy, proteins gives us protective our body, vitamins and nutrients will give the protective our body. Proteins are the growth of our body, isn't it? Fat and rough phase. Fat also give energy as well as it protect from the outer atmosphere. Our body should be consist of the constant of the temperature. So that's why it will not send the out of the temperature, or it will not take it out of the temperature into inside of their body. So body temperature always should be constant, isn't it? So these are the major functions of the nutrients. Now let's see. So we cannot in the olden days or the ancient people used to eat directly raw food, and the raw food if we eat there is a tasteless, and sometimes in the raw food germs also presented. So these all the things we considered, and when the evolution it has to come to the day by day developed of the civilization, then the people used to make the food into the taste. So that is the called ingredients. See all of you. Ingredients. The food we prepared, the materials are required. For example, rice is one of the food. So what kind of the ingredients are required? Rice, water are the major ingredients. Or for example, you take potato curry. So in a potato curry, we needed a lot of the ingredients are required. We already were discussed, isn't it? So ingredients are make the food dish like a tasty and to eatable with all the materials, isn't it? Next one is methods of the cooking. So we know and we developed different types of the methods of the cooking. Instead of the methods of the cooking, boiling method is the best method. Boiling method is a best method, or steaming also a best method. Of course, different types of the methods are there. So we can deep fry, or making that into roasting, or we can smoke, and different kind of the methods are there. But in this, instead of that, boiling and steaming also very best methods to will not unhealthy, isn't it? So that also you can see, children. Next one is the preservation of the food. So children, we used to preserve some food material because of the region, the area which is not exist of the different crop. So we get from some far away from the places, and we used to be store the food. So in the store the food is entirely different to preserve that long period, isn't it? For example, like pickles, we know that. So pickles, how we are having seasonal fruits are there, or seasonal what we say vegetables are there, or seasonal things, materials we can be preserved throughout the year, or some of the couple of the months. So we should preserve the food materials, isn't it? So that is also one kind of the things which is help to which area is not presented suitable, it is not suitable, we can take from some other places also. So these are the preservating of the food materials, and we can store like best in a preservation refrigerator we have. So whatever the food we can store in the refrigerator, as well as the vegetables also, isn't it? We do in our daily life. And some in a fridge means some couple of the days or 1 week we can preserve it, isn't it? So from this lesson we can expect like questions, sources of the food and ingredients, methods of the cooking food, and preservation also. So these kind of the topics, please once again you read the textbook as well as workbook also we can get, isn't it? Coming to the point of the animals and their food. So this lesson already I explained and also given for this revision also. But once again I am going to say about this feeding habits of the animal. So this is a very important, how the people are having the feeding habit. The same thing also applicable for these feeding habits of the animals. Animals also, they have the feeding habits, though they do not have the hands, but they are modified into the limbs. Though they do not have their no, what we call the face, but they make into the beaks modified, isn't it? So even their mouth also modified into as a tear the food, catch the food, or catch the grass, this all the things. So there also the same applicable, how the people we are following the same thing. So coming to the point, classification of the animals. So what are these classification of the animals? So animals are basically divided into herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Of course, scavengers also is there, isn't it? So let's see based on their food habits. Based on the food habit, herbivores. Already I said these are the herbs. Herbs means plant-eating animal, isn't it? So these are the plant eating animals. Carnivores. Carn means that is the flesh. So these are the depend upon only flesh eating or they eat other animals, isn't it? So this is called carnivores. Herbivores, we know that which animals are eating. I can say example, but we have to observe your surrounding also. Which animals are eat the grass or these herbs, isn't it? You just observe and note down, then you can understand very easily, not in the by heart method. Next one is the carnivores. These are the flesh eating animals. We can see in the most of the forest areas, isn't it? Next one, omnivores. We are the best, I think, example of this omnivores, of course, bears also, isn't it? So these are the both plants as well as animals also eat this kind of the animals, isn't it? So this is based on their eating habits. Next one is the rumination. So what is this rumination? Some of the animals like cow, buffaloes, first they will eat or first they will swallow grass. After when they relax, they take back and they chew very long period. Is known as called rumination. Next one is the food chain. See children, this is a very important of our life. Food chain is a very important. The food chain depend upon each animal directly or indirectly. For suppose, we may not eat the earthworms, but we eat fish. So fish we depend upon the fish. Fishes depend upon the earthworms. Earthworms depend upon the soil fertilizer, isn't it? So each animal depend directly or indirectly. For suppose a lion is there, tiger is there, or what fox is there. Maybe they will not eat leaves, but they depend upon the goat or the camel or the sheep or rabbit, isn't it? They are indirectly depend upon the leaves. So each food chain directly or indirectly depend upon each objects, isn't it? So that is about the food chain. Animal colonies and the food. So children, when we are group of the animals, so it is easy to collect the food, isn't it? So that is also you have to see. And best example of the ants or birds, they go in a group. When they are in the group, easy to carry the food material, easy to we found the food with one person we can collaborate and we can get the information to remaining also, isn't it? So this is a very easy going in a colonies, and when we are there in the colonies, and we can get the same kind of the food also, isn't it? So these both lessons also we have to read the textbook and just practice in your workbook. In the workbook also we have given some of the example of these multiple choice questions. We just practice, isn't it? And I hope that everybody should get 25 out of the 25, isn't it? Don't waste of your time. Please, this time for you make your preparation and better write in your HW whatever you are going to prepare when you come to the school, and I will check. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.